You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
You like me artwork?
Yeah, I do actually.
I didn't got it from an antique. I feel like it's fucking a Van Gogh, basically. $75. Thanks for coming.
Where'd you go, mate?
Lunatiques.
The best. Although we went there so much, I've got a bit of a fucking.
Yeah,
I've got. What's the word? I'm saturated.
Well, mate, you know what? It's one of the fucking things I wanted to talk to you about generally, as I welcome everyone back to the Hello Sport Podcast. Unqualified opinion, unwavering bias. Really easy, these fucking wireless setups. Really fucking getting a hold of it now, which is good. So we're trying to fit out our apartment. This is the room I'm currently in. You need a dining table, and fucking chairs and all that sort of shit. The lead time on keep your face on, Tobler. I wouldn't mind seeing you on the Zoom.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing you, mate.
The lead time on furniture is abhorrent. They're like, oh yeah, so you want to get this table? All right, well the table's going to be like maybe 4 weeks. I'm like, 4 weeks I can handle. I get that. 4 weeks. I'm not like, you know, I'm not someone who's hard to deal with in that sense. I realize my expectations aren't crazy. But then they're like, oh, do you like these chairs? Well, firstly, these chairs are like $50,000 each, and we can give you one now, and then you'll get the rest in May. And I'm like, well, why would I do that? What, I'm just going to fucking, we're going to share the chair for 6 months? You fucks. And I don't know if that's always been the way or if our friend COVID has something to do with that, but it's not sustainable.
I'm under the impression, Tom, that our friend COVID has a lot to do with that. I, however, do think that lead times have been long going into that. When we were trying to do our house, we went into Freedom and the lead time was 6 months. And I'm just like, I'm not waiting 6 months. Now, there was some side tables, like bedroom side tables that we really like, not from Freedom, from a different place. Again, lead time 6 months, would have been delivered in December, late December. And I just go, I'm not waiting till December. Now, we're in January, Tom, and I still don't have side tables. So was I better served just booking it in and just riding it out? But there's something about swallowing 6 months out the gate that I just can never get comfortable with.
No, I'm not going to be comfortable with it. Now, I mean, have you continued your side table search in earnest, or have you sort of parked it?
No, it's been continued, but not in earnest. Earnest would not be the word I'd use. It's been continued on a sort of antique / furniture store. Like when we walk past one, we'll have a look.
Yeah. So you haven't made a concerted effort to try and change your stars in that regard.
But like, again, a lot of the stuff, a lot of like your sort of run-of-the-mill furniture shops have these fucking huge lead times. So we've sort of gone into a antique sort of situation, you know?
Yeah.
Because things pop up in antique stores, bro. Don't worry about that.
Do.
We got this sick
they
marble table the other day. Not the other day, that's a lie. Like 3 months ago, that had a small crack in it that you could cover with a book. And you're getting huge discounts on that because of the crack. Like,
yeah,
I actually quite like antique shopping. It feels a bit more bespoke, Tom.
Mate, I have, so like, again, looking for a table. The table we had before was my mum's, and it was sort of a bit rustic, had a bit of personality, had seen some winters. And so going into the sort of generic table stores, homeware stores, I don't know what the fuck you'd call it, I was sort of looking at these tables as like they're all a bit samey. Where's the like, I wouldn't mind something with a bit of fucking, you know, that's seen some shit.
Some character, Tom.
Some character, some K's in the legs, you know how it is. I then go into the antique store and I was like, you know, you might get a good deal here, or like sometimes you're paying the same price for an antique table as you are when you're getting fisted in the fucking conventional table store. But unfortunately, they were all piles of shit, or there was like they also try and fuck in antique stores, so they go, oh, this is like an old farmhouse table that is rickety as fuck, but it's old, so we're going to charge you $4,500 for it. and you're going to need to do work to it. And I'm like, well, you're just trying to fuck me now.
I don't
I'm
think
not
you
going
can
with
add
you.
you can't add a zero to something just because it was in a farmhouse. Can you?
No. Well,
That seems
you
like a
can,
bit much.
clearly.
Well, they're trying to, Tom.
I do like going to antique stores, Eddie, and you and I have had this experience before where you see something you like and it's absurdly priced, and you keep looking and you keep coming in as the months progress, and you see those selfish, greedy fucks having to slowly lower the price.
Yep.
And the arse just drops out of the price. Then what happens is you buy a couch basically on price alone that you don't need, and it sits in your studio for, a year? Not being used.
Well, listen, not quite a year. Approximately a year, Tom. And there's some truth in that, sure. Maybe there's some truth in that. But we did get a good deal, Tom, and I don't think that should be discredited. At least it felt like we were getting a good deal. Some of the time I'll buy just on deal and deal alone. Now, do you fucking pay for it on the back end? Sure, but there's something satisfying about getting a deal, I reckon.
No, you go broke
fucking
saving
satisfying.
money. You go broke saving money.
You go
I
broke
get
saving
it.
money, especially if you've seen the arse drop out of it, and then you go in there with some really sharp negotiating skills and you haggle it down even further. I like it. It makes me fucking feel good. I'm not going to lie. I tell you where you need to go, though, Tom, if you're looking to get the antique experience but also probably avoid city prices. Get down to the Southern Highlands. It's considerably cheaper than our fucking friends at, I won't insert the name here, but the guys we go to. Because they don't miss you at the place we go to.
No, they don't.
Mate, also around, I don't know if you've got a trip to Walker in your future, Tom, but that part of the world, New England. New England antiques are cheap, mate.
I can give you the hot tip right now. I don't have any trip to New England planned. Now, Jarch, still yet to invite me to his house once. We've been friends for over a decade. So, look, if he does want to invite me down there, I'll probably just say no out of principle. But if I do agree, maybe there'll be some antiquing in my life. Fuck antiques, fuck furniture for a minute. We got a bit to get to here. One thing before we get into the sport, though, Eddie.
Yeah, mate.
Obviously, and maybe you can't tell on the Zoom because I'm far back, but I know that you certainly could and people in my life could. I trimmed my beard. It happened. I trimmed it really, really short considering I'm sort of a beard guy generally, or I became one. I reinvented myself as a beard guy maybe in like 2019. And I don't know if it's necessarily that I want to start a charity or maybe just some sort of organization or cause about dudes that have like an optical illusion double chin, where it's like they don't actually have one, but the way their facial hair grows would lead you to believe that there was one there. And I think that there are many of us out there, and it cripples you a little bit when it's like, I don't want to shave my beard, and then I accidentally do shave it too short, and then I have to go all the way short, and now I've got a double chin. But it's an optical illusion. But that doesn't change the perception, and I'm just trying to work out like whether we can get awareness out there to the people that, firstly, I don't have a double chin, but I do have an unfortunate bald patch under my neck. So when you're looking at me, you see facial hair, then you see some bald skin, and then the hair starts up again.
So it gives the illusion of a double chin. Are you suggesting, though, and confirming to the pun of the dribbler, you absolutely don't have a double chin? Like hand on heart.
No.
Like, are you swearing on?
No.
No.
This is what I would say is that maybe
I don't know if I buy that.
No. Maybe right now, like as of this very moment, I apologize for my WhatsApp going off. I forgot to mute it. There's maybe like a slight fucking one, but not enough to call me a guy with a double chin. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a double. There could potentially right now just be ever so slightly, but it's not like a double chin. It's a bald chin.
It's not like a double quarter pounder double,
No, exactly. It's not a big, thicky, fucking, 10x large.
It's like, when you have a quarter pounder and then you have a double quarter pounder, you know the difference. You're like, oh, fuck, that's a shitload more meat. That's way smackier.
Yeah.
Like a double chin of consequence, of substance, generally speaking, one that really fucking folds in on itself.
Yes.
That you notice from afar. I know what you mean, though, Tom, because you have always had that bald spot sort of, I guess, it's your Achilles heel, really, in terms of your...
No, it is. It's my Achilles heel because even, let's say I was fat, or let's say I had a double chin. Let's rephrase that. Let's say that I did have a double chin.
Yep.
If I had your beard, I could look like fucking Bradley Cooper. Like, you wouldn't know. I could have a really chiseled chin because I'm growing facial hair over it, and the optical illusion is this guy's got a chin. But if I don't possess the skills or the physical accoutrements to grow the beard smoothly and consistently under the chin, I basically can't have a short beard anymore. And you know what I liked, Eddie? I'm not going to lie. I did this. I cut it short accidentally because I was using some scissors and I fucked it. And I went, okay, I got to cut all this off. I don't mind the way that I look from like chin up. But chin down, dude. Chin down's a nightmare.
Chin down needs work, mate. And I would have thought that given that you are 33, that maybe that bald patch would have filled in. We've been waiting for that thing to fill in your whole life, and it's just never happened. Like Streety's just been waiting to grow fucking sideburns his whole life, and it's just that day will never come. I think you just need to reckon with that fact that you're going to be bald
hoping to grow a chin.
Yeah,
never happened.
Never happened. I mean, do you look into some sort of facial hair plugs? I don't know.
That's what I was looking at.
Is that over the top? Is that over the top? Maybe.
A weave of some sort? Glue?
You could weave one in, for sure. But again, it'd need to be longer. If you want to play short, you're going to have to play the plug, I think.
Or do you do just like some sort of mascara color?
Well, have you ever seen those balding pens where they look like a texter and they just sort of like draw hair onto these blokes?
That's what I'd be open to having my chin colored in, is what I'm saying. But I just want to raise awareness. And I know there's more of us out there. Tobler, I'm looking at you, dude. You don't get... I feel like you get one.
Yeah, I got a little bald patch under there, but my facial hair does not grow at all. Like, this mustache took about a year to grow.
I'd love to see Tobler just stop shaving.
Can you stop shaving, Tobler?
Yeah, we can talk.
Is this... Mate.
What's in it? Because it gets puby. It's gross.
What's in it?
What's in it? I mean, a bit of content, dude.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Something to talk
Slave
about.
for the content.
Yeah, slave for the content, mate.
As if it wouldn't be funny.
But also, like, reach out if you're a dribbler or a dribblet and you think that there's some sort of mascara option for me. I will also entertain it. But to be honest, I'm just going to grow my beard back, so you don't need to worry too much.
You could get it tattooed.
But then what if I go clean shaven? Now I look fucking bizarre. Now like I got a bruise.
Well, maybe. I do want to see you with a goatee again, Tom, because I know that the goatee aspect of your facial hair dominates.
That's why I cut it all off. So the cheeks here are different length and thickness to my goatee and my mo, which are as strong and true as any facial hair has ever been. I trimmed it all down, but they can't be the same length. So I trimmed it all down, then Steph goes, it just looks like you have one of the great goatees of all time. And I'm like, well, fuck. So I start trimming the goat down. I fucked the goat. I cut it across instead of long ways. And now I've got this huge... I look like a kid who'd cut his own hair. And so I had to just shave it all off.
Can I ask you this, Tom? Can I ask you this?
What?
Have you heard the saying, play to your strengths?
Yeah.
Why don't you just fuck everything else off and just rock that goatee?
Is there a world out there, if there's science behind it, that if I was to just shave everything else consistently, would it start to grow back thicker? Because I used to shave all the time and it never made it thicker. So I don't know if I'm just being lied to by like big facial hair.
I don't know. The only thing I can sort of reference is in Seinfeld. I think Jerry starts trimming his pubes, and Kramer says that don't do that, buddy, because it grows back fucking bushier than ever. That's basically my only reference point, Tom. Now, I'm not going to sit here on my own podcast and call Kramer a liar. I'd never do that. So I'm prepared to at least allow you to try it out. Just keep fucking shaving it. Rock the goatee and just shave. Shave for a year around the fucking goatee, and we'll see what you've got at the end.
What I can promise you is this. There's no way I'll have a goatee for a year. That we do know, and that we can set our watches to. No goatee for a year.
Why are you so anti-goatee?
It's not my look, mate. It's not my look. I've gotten this far in life, even though some may argue it is my look. I've gotten this far in life not rocking a goatee, intentionally at least. So I just can't see myself moving forward into the good night goatee beyond belief. Like, you know, it looks good on someone like Robert Whittaker. I'm not knocking the goatee itself.
I think it'll look good
Cook.
on you. I think it'll look good on you. I am drawn immediately to your goatee. That's all I see. I don't see the rest of it. All I see is the goatee.
Why do you think I'm sitting so far away from the camera?
I reckon you're wasting time with the rest of it. I really do. I think it's a
disagree.
waste of your time.
I'll grow a goatee if you grow a goatee. How about that?
Grow goatees together?
Do you want to shave goatees in?
Yeah, fuck it. I'll have to grow mine
right.
out a bit though. But
I'll grow mine out a bit as well, and we'll have full, thick, prime goatees.
Yeah, fuck it. Righto.
Yes,
I'll do that.
Sweet. I wonder how long we'll last with goatees. Probably not long with the missos. Anyway.
Yeah, I can't see Ella
That's
liking a
by the by.
goatee on me, bro. I really can't.
No. Now, we've got obviously some cricket to get to, but Eddie, I think the biggest story in world sport right now
Open with
has
it,
to be the Kemp curse fucking finding its way into 2023. That thing's still going. That fucking idiot Denning Kemp, all he had to do was take his shirt off and eat muesli bars, and it just will not fucking stop. Broncos are an absolute shit show. Selwyn Cobbo of prodigious talent fame, of Origin representative fame, of prodigious talent fame, has come out on a podcast. I don't know the name of the podcast, so I apologise. I hate when cunts don't say what podcast it is. Top if you can find the name of it.
I had it up just before.
He's come out and...
Back of the 135.
Back of the 135.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to get Clarkie's. I first saw it reported on Clarkie's column.
Mm.
Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's where I saw it. I sent it to you, and it was via Clarkie. And you'd already posted it.
I'd already
Clarkie
got it up
well.
on the old stories.
Yeah.
So on the podcast, someone said, I reckon he's a good person, like a good bloke, but I don't think he's a good coach. Like, he's not the best coach. He's all right. I feel like he's just a good person. I feel like he's not a coach. The way that he coaches is a bit weird, I guess. Like...
Unbelievable. Now...
That's after Tyson Gamble's already come out last year and shit on him.
Mate. I know, which is what makes this whole fucking thing so strange and clearly so cursed, is because when Tyson came out and said that, they would have talked about that as a playing group, as a club. Like, there would have been some directive, you would think, or maybe the fucking captain comes in and says a couple of words, like Renault's maybe saying something, Paddy Carrigan. I don't know. Something would have been spoken about, right? And I would guess,
hey, don't talk shit about the coach on podcasts.
Yeah. It's pretty simple. Like, you can go onto podcasts and you can shoot the shit, but just as a general rule of thumb, don't shit on the club, don't shit on your teammates, and don't shit on the coach. I would think. That would be my fucking opinion.
Yeah.
For him to come out, and by the way, like, he comes out, we'll read his explanation in a second, but I went and watched it, Tom, and there didn't need to be any context to his comments. His comments were fucking, he was asked a question and he answered it. Do you know what I mean? There was no, you read the explanation.
Yeah, I'll read out what he said. And I feel sorry for Selwyn. Like, I feel sorry for him. I feel more sorry for Kevin. More sorry for Kevin Walters. But, I mean, like, there is an ingrained level of stupidity that is unavoidable in this. Like, I'm not saying that Selwyn is a dumb person by any means, because we all make mistakes. But this is arguably, well, it's actually not arguable. It's dumb from top to bottom. But here's his apology. I'm really sorry to Kev, and I've already contacted him to say that for the silly comments taken out of context and joking around. So this was a joke. This might have been a joke. My coach is shit, and he's weird, and he's not that good. Good bloke, shit coach, weird guy. The fact is that Kev's a very good coach.
Oh.
So sometimes the joke is that it's like the opposite of what you say. It's like, we all know that Tom looks good in a goatee. Ha, ha, ha. He doesn't look good in a goatee, and that's what's funny. The fact is, Kev's a very good coach, and he taught me a lot and supported me heaps since coming into the NRL. Sorry again to Ken Alpha and his family and all the Broncos club for this unwarranted attention. So he's actually disrespected Kevy twice.
Yeah. Called him
times,
Ken.
really.
Called
him Ken. Finished it with Ken.
So listen, arguably the most important sort of statement he's had to make in his young career is the one he's just released on Instagram, and he doesn't even care to fucking run an eye over it before he posts it. Or maybe he does, and he goes, subtly as he can, fuck you, Kevin, who I also call Ken.
Yeah, exactly. There is an element there where you go, maybe the truth is actually still there for all to see, and he's actually just alphaed the fuck out of him by calling him Ken.
Mate, I'm sorry, but that is... If anyone's swallowing that, then you're better than I. You've got no gag reflex if you're swallowing that, because
if you're swallowing that, you've got like Jenna Jameson quality gag reflex. You know what I mean?
Like if you're swallowing
that,
bro, you can deep throat with the best of them if you're swallowing that, because I can't.
Yeah.
That hit my fucking gag reflex immediately, and I threw up because...
Dude, I actually personally think that I got a pretty good gag reflex as well. Like
you can handle a yarn.
Like it's certainly not. It's nothing. It's not like a 14-inch sort of on-set Jenna Jameson situation, gangbang, bukkake sitch. But I think that my gag reflex, my gag reflex is also sharp. I know when someone's taking the piss out of me.
Yeah.
You said this was 12 inches. It's clearly 16. I'm gagging.
Yeah.
This is...
I was promised two at once, not three. You know what I mean? Like you take umbrage with someone looking to take the piss.
Yeah. And this to me just seems like there's actually in sort of like, I guess, defense of Selwyn and his, attempt to get me to gag, which he did. Or not get me to gag, try to slip one past me. What else can he say? He's got to deny it now. He's got to be like, no, I didn't mean it. He can't be like, listen, sorry, I did. He is shit.
Mate, I wonder who made that call to him. Was it like, was it the CEO? Was it Reynolds being like, listen, bro, you're gonna have to come out and deny it, or not deny it. You're gonna have to come out and pretend like this was all just a big misunderstanding. Because unfortunately for us, we are a cursed club, and on at the time the 7th of January, leading into fucking preseason in earnest, we've now got 2 players coming out shitting on the coach.
Well, they got rid of Tyson Gamble responsibly. He's now in Newcastle. Which is,
I don't think they want to get rid of the Throbbo, do they?
Well, no, they don't want to get rid of Throbbo. I mean, if he's fucking shitting on Kevy, I wonder what Tyson's got to say about Adam O'Brien after a few weeks. I'll be interested to see. But Selwyn a little less dispensable.
He's extremely indispensable, Tom. The kid's a fucking thoroughbred, and he's playing Origin already. How old is he? 20? 19?
Yeah, but like surely that means though, and I say this with the utmost respect to Ken Walters, that maybe he's not a good coach.
Listen, where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say. Now, I don't know Ken personally. I'm sure he's a fucking terrific bloke.
I have met Ken. Ken's a nice guy.
Mm. The whispers Tom and I have always heard, and we hear birdies chirping all day.
Tweet.
They've always sung this from the same hymn sheet, as it were, as that Kevy, not a great coach. He's more of a man motivator, potentially, than an actual first grade, 24 games a season, first grade coach. That's the whispers we've heard on the wind. Now,
is he even a man motivator? Like, and I don't mean, obviously he would be able to motivate men to some degree, but it seems like he's a bit of a, I don't know if Magoo's the right word, but it's like if he's a weird bloke who can't coach but is nice, they're often a few, that puts up my Magoo senses. Because Magoos aren't bad necessarily. You aren't bad by nature of being a Magoo, but if you're a bit weird and you like, you know, the boys all start talking shit about you.
But can Magoo's coach though? Like, what's the ruling on a Magoo coaching?
Dude, you know what? I think Magoo's probably can coach. I think that some of the great coaches probably have a hint of Magoo in them, but I think they've got a little bit more like alpha about them. Like, and Kevy as a player was alpha as fuck, but sometimes there's not many that transition from alpha footballer into alpha coach.
No. Des Hasler comes to mind, but other than that, there's not a heap.
No, but he's not Magoo, but he's weird.
He is weird. I think you've got to have an element of weirdness to you, but you've got to have alpha to you as well. And at the end of the day, you've got to be able to coach, right? Now,
well, that's also important. Like Kevy crying in pre-games.
Too much.
He's like hyping up the boys. That's too much.
It's
not
too
that
much.
I love that energy and I love that passion, but maybe you're better as like an assistant.
Yeah, but that's origin stuff. That's origin stuff. You know what I mean? Crying at the drop of the hat. Like if you listen to the origin sort of series, 8-part series last year, Tom, the Queenslanders were crying at the drop of a fucking hat. As soon as they open their mouth, they're blubbering messes. Now, it translated into wins, so credit to them. I think there's a place for tears, Tom. I don't think there's a place for tears, round 7, driving rain, away trip to Canberra. I just think that comes across the wrong way.
Yeah, it does. Like, it's probably also a bit draining to have your coach fucking bawling his eyes out before every game, right? Like, 3 games a year I think you can get through because it's origin, it's passion, it's your state.
Yep.
But as you say, fucking down at GIO, piss and rain, minus fucking 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Tears freezing on his face. It's so fucking cold.
Yeah.
It's a bit much.
I don't need tears before we play the Bunnies in Mudgee. I just don't need it. It's just too much. It's too much, Kevy.
Especially Kenny. Especially when we're fucking coming 14th.
I know.
And, you know, the Warriors are also down the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah. We've lost 4 in a row and we made 17 unforced errors last week. I think we just need to get back to basics, Kenny.
Yeah.
And I think we just leave the Clan X's for another day because we need to focus on catch and pass. Really simple shit. Maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe, I mean, I don't want to have to say this to Ken. I don't feel like I need to say this to Ken, but listen, I'm a nice guy and, you know, I'm happy to offer advice where I can. Maybe it is get back to absolute basics with the boys. Get back to absolute basics and go from the ground up.
But, I mean, how do they continue to keep him on as a coach? Like, how? They clearly don't respect him. Again, no disrespect to Kevin from here. Kevin or Kennan? I don't know. But
Kennan. Yeah.
Kennan. No one at Hello Sport is throwing any shade at Kennan. But what we are saying is it seems untenable to have your players shitting on you.
It does. Well, Tom, there is one way out of this. There's always been one way out of any rugby league mess, and that's win. You can win your way out of a mess.
But even
you can win your way out of a scandal.
You can. If you make finals,
fucking oath you can.
But even
if
last
they come
year,
out and they win the first 10 games of the season, baby, like...
I don't know if you remember this last year, but when it was just before the curse started, I think, and I started talking shit about on the DMP, which is going to be coming back, punters and dribblers, and I was talking shit to Kempy about the Broncos and saying that something was coming and they were fucking and I'd heard from a relatively reliable source that some big name players at the Broncos were off him, and we're like, mate, he can't coach.
Yeah, we heard that.
So then when you've got Tyson Gamble responsibly and Selwyn Cobbo, Throbbo, coming out and doing the dirty work for the big boys and just shitting all over the coach.
Yeah, because
okay.
we'd heard two big boys. I thought we'd heard two big boys approach the board. Have any of the old boys come out to defend him?
I don't think so, dude. I think some do. Like, sometimes they do, but, like, I haven't heard anything. I tell you what, I'd love to have seen NRL 360 rip through that one.
Oh, God.
It's times like these I miss Kenty, Braith, Buzz, Hoops. Even, I tell you who'd fucking be in tears, Paul Crawley.
Oh,
Crawls.
Crawls.
Is it Paul or Steve? I know one of them's head of Fox. We don't mean that one.
Paul Crawley. Or is it Steve
Paul.
Crawley? No, Paul
Well,
Crawley.
Steve, they are brothers.
Are they brothers?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think it's Paul Crawley.
Yeah, Crawls. Crawls would be a blubbering mess.
It'd be an absolute mess. Completely and utterly beside himself. Can I put my hand up, Tom, and just be honest? I miss 360. I do.
I miss it.
I miss the bullshit. I miss the hullabaloo. I miss the drama.
Yeah.
I miss the tears. I miss the fucking absolute dribble. I miss the mayo. I miss all of it.
I miss it all greatly.
Now that we're out of the test part of the summer, the test cricket part of the summer, I start to long for rugby league.
Yeah, no, it's already started. No, I'm starting to. Well, look, let's just quickly wrap rugby league here and just say a quick little shout out to our friend of the show, Connor Watson, who it seems has done his ACL.
I know. I was fucking devastated to read that, especially because we'd only just sat down with him, and he's one of the great blokes getting around town.
And he was looking fit, and he was pumped and ready for the season, and
Is that 6 months?
No, it's a season. He'll miss the season.
Done.
He'll come back. Yeah.
Oh, that's the season. Oh.
Yeah, it's the season.
Oh,
that's the season. Again, Cheese coming, him fucking short. It sucks. What's funny is a dribbler, because they were training at the SCG, like those fields, and a dribbler DM'd us a video of Connor Watson. He goes, boys, I think Connor's just done his ACL. He's getting carried off the field, and sent us the video. And I was like, I'm not posting that shit.
No.
I'm not posting that.
That is absolutely devastating for Connor. Misses the whole season, dude. He was so jacked for a big year as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
How
tough.
old is he? Still young. He's like 26, 20. So it's not like, it's not like you're fucking doing your ACL. It's not Brett Morris. But obviously it doesn't mean it's good. It's not good, but like.
He's 26.
Yeah. He's got time. But
He's
that
got
sucks.
time. He's got time. But not
well, look. You know what? He's going to have some time off. Maybe he can come back into the studio and hang out. Maybe we get him for a live stream.
I think we definitely will, Tom. That's exactly what we do.
Yeah. And
there'll be a lot more of them this year, punters and dribblers. You can hang your hat on that.
You can bet your saggy old dicks and vaginas on that. But that's rugby league. You like what I'm doing here as well, punters and dribblers. If you're watching, I bought an iPad. I don't know if I mentioned it. But look at me. I've got my little run sheet notes. I'm just going through, oh, yeah, what do you want to talk about? Oh, yeah, Connor Watson. I fucking use this thing so much now. I never thought I would. Well, no, not never thought I would. I did get it for a reason. But it's now how I read the newspapers.
So you were saying you can you flip the page?
Yeah, dude. It's like I'm reading the newspaper. I don't have ink all over my hands. And I don't have to go anywhere to get it.
What did you go with there? What sort of... Is that like a large
iPad?
one? Is that a regular size?
I think it's a normal size. I don't know what model it is, but it's like a pretty fucking almost deleted all my notes. It's pretty just run of the mill. I didn't want to get anything too fucking how you going. At the end of the day, I am only using it to write notes and read newspapers. I don't know that, and to play sleeping noises for the girls. Yeah. So it's not, it's nothing too crazy. I'm also going to apologise because I don't know if the way I'm sitting that for the YouTube, my feet are going to be in shot the whole time.
They keep coming. They keep coming in and out. I'd probably just leave them down.
No, we'll see, because this is for the Zoom, right? This is what you're seeing Zoom, but obviously there's the camera behind.
Great point. So it's
So I'm
only
sort
off
of
putting.
trying to-
It's only off putting for me.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're in shot or not because I can't see. I'm trying to like move them to the side, but
So you never got your cam link working, mate. Never got it working. No. Did you? Have you been plugging? Have you been plugging it in or?
No, I haven't even. To be honest, I'm not spending much time farting around with it outside of podcast hours. That's on me. I get it. I've got a lot on my plate at the moment. Zoe started her first day of daycare today. Had to go drop her off. I'm looking after Evie as well. Steph's back at work full time now. So it's a lot. Whilst I'm trying to run the empire while you're fucking going to Byron and the Pacific Islands and fucking around. It's not that easy. I don't have time. Not to mention Palm Springs, fucking Mexico, New York, Sydney, LA, Pacific Islands. Like,
Mate, I gotta get my fill before I'm fucking like you, stuck at home with kids.
Mate, this is some grade A bullshit right here. Now, onto some cricket. I tell you what, I say this with a heavy heart. And I say it every year with a heavy heart. No, not too heavy. No, like, I mean, obviously heavy enough for me to carry it. I'm not trying to hurt myself. But fuck the summer of Test cricket just goes. It's over. It just goes. It's here. And then, honestly, it's like a good night. It's like a party you're going to and you're really excited about the party, or like a Bucks weekend. And I'm always Devo almost as I arrive to the Bucks weekend because I know how quickly it's going to go and it's just going to be over. And I feel like that's the same with the summer of Test cricket. Like, it just, you blink and you miss it.
Mate, it happens every year and it's fucking annoying because you think to yourself, oh, I've got 5 tests. That's not one or two, obviously. Like, 5's a big number. 5's something that you should be able to sink your teeth into, marinate in, if you will. And what I find frustrating, Tom, is in my experience, the first 3 always go like that, really quickly. Gone. See you later. Gone. And now it's Christmas time, and now I've got the Boxing Day test, and that's great. And then that's over, and I've only got one more left. The New Year's test. We lose a couple of days to rain, and then it's fucking all over.
It just always fucking rains, though, doesn't it? Like, I don't want to be the, negative Nancy, although I don't think that Nancy deserves to be dragged into this. But it's fucking always raining in the New Year's test.
So someone did up a graphic. I believe originally it was the ABC, credit where credit's due, and Sydney had lost 25 full days, like full washout days to rain since like 1908. I don't know when it was started to be calculated. Apologies if I got that wrong. But Perth had 0.
Yeah, I just don't think it rains there.
As an example. The next most was Melbourne with 8 full washout days. So Sydney,
I wonder how Sydney stacks up globally.
Well, compared to like London or something.
Well, England is kind of a bit of a like whatever because that's like you probably want to count days of sun instead of days of rain in that shithole. But like outside of England, is Sydney the worst fucking ground for rain? Or maybe New Zealand gets a bit? I don't know.
That's something. It would be good if D or Dave was here. I told them maybe be able to play a role in the background.
To be honest, I think we're a better chance of finding out the answer without Dave here. Not to say that I don't want him here, just saying that like the answer probably unlikely.
Well, you're just saying statistically, are we more probable to find out the answer without D or Dave? Then yes, we are statistically more probable to find out the answer without D or Dave. Tom, so you would be correct in saying that. Don't feel bad for yourself. Now, a lot of dribblers in Punters and Dribblers, Tom, that's a Facebook group, world renowned. A lot of cunts in there, a lot of fun. If you're not a member, please join. Are getting very uppity about Sydney, very upset with Sydney. They're calling it one of the great shitholes all time. They're saying that the test should be stripped from us. They're saying that the test should, if not stripped, be moved. Listen, I don't have the data in front of me, but I'm here to tell you, in summer in Sydney, it rains sometimes, and I don't think that moving it from the end to the start or from the end to the middle is going to have fucking any effect whatsoever. What I do know is that you're not going to take a test away from the greatest ground in the world
and the greatest
city on the planet. Like that'd be like taking a fucking test match away from Auckland. or Eden Park. Like, you just got to be a bit smarter than that instead of saying stupid comments.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if I'd use a New Zealand-based test ground, considering, no disrespect to New Zealand, the current test champions, but like, they're not.
I meant in a rugby sense. So their national sport is rugby union.
Gotcha.
You wouldn't take one away from Eden Park, like you wouldn't take one away from the SCG. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. I'm now I am with you. But listen, the rain did fuck the test. You and I went out there, which was a fucking hoot of a time. It's actually my favorite. It might be my favorite time of year. Like, if I could get 5 days off to just go and hoot and holler with the fellas, it is terrific. We were up in the Membos, which was nice, and shout out to the Godfather of the SCG. This time of year, it's always, you got to pay your respects.
You do.
He secures us the best seats in the house. Really gets in there nice and early. The one thing you'll never catch me doing again, at least, is getting up at 4 a.m. and going and lining up to get in.
Well, with the Godfather, Tom, we don't need to.
Yeah.
Now, he does all the hard work for us, and obviously we pay our respects and we thank him unequivocally. But actually, funnily enough, some dribblers off the back of his COVID video went and sort of found him the other day and introduced themselves and made themselves known to the Godfather, which I think is a mark of respect.
Yeah, it's class.
But Tom and I, 4:30 is too early for us. In terms of getting up and waiting. I like to get there around 9:45, 10. I like to get a beer. I like to settle in. I like to get the lay of the land. I like to read the paper, maybe have a pie. And then I like to see the first ball bowled. That's sort of how I operate.
Yep. Shout out to all the dribblers who were there. We got to meet a shitload of you while we were out there, which was great. I think the person in terms of meeting, though, Eddie, and I don't know if you remember this because, I mean, you will, but at the point, this was at the end of the day, we were all fucking hammered.
Yeah.
We met fucking old Blue Eyes, old man.
Yeah, we did.
The bluest of Blue Eyes. Paddy Cummins' dad.
Yeah.
Shooting the shit with him, just going, mate, look, I know that you probably don't care for the opinions of a couple of fucking absolutely blind Australians, but we just wanted to congratulate you on what a fine young man you've raised. That's literally, when we have the opportunity to speak to the captain of the Australian cricket team's father, we just wanted to congratulate him on the quality of man that he has reared.
And that's not too far away from exactly what we said. To give the punter and the dribbler context, you could tell it was Paddy's old man on the eyes and the eyes alone.
Yep. They
They were blue, but more of an aged blue.
Yeah, they were. They were a blue that's seen some winners or some summers.
That's right. He was tall like his boy. They had the same smile, Tom. I don't know if you recall that.
No, I do, mate. They had the same smile. I was like, that's how. You called me and you go, bro, I'm outside with Paddy's dad. I'm like, say no more.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here. But his dad was a beautiful Australian, a beautiful man who was, at the end of the day, more than anything, just proud of his boy. He was a little bit concerned that maybe there was some rumblings of discontent that had sort of seeped into the national psyche in regards to Paddy and his captaincy. I had to allay those fears. I said, mate.
Yeah.
Mr. Cummins, I'm here to tell you that your boy's loved universally, and I wouldn't listen to the bullshit that sometimes they write in the papers, because all they're doing is trying to fucking sell papers or get clicks. The people... And the people are the ones that matter, Tom. The people love your son, Mr. Cummins, and I just want you to know that.
We wanted you to know that your son is loved and adored. Don't buy into the negativity, Mr. Cummins, Papa Cummins, Big Daddy Cummins.
Big Daddy Cummins. Cummins Senior.
Yeah, Cummins Senior. Don't you worry about a thing. And if you do have any concerns, here are our personal mobile numbers, and you can call us at any time. Our phones are always on.
Always.
Any time of the night, you wake up, fuck, I need to talk to Tom and Eddie. Like, I'm wigging out about something. You give us a call, and we will be there for you.
Call us, and we'll be there. Rain, hail, or shine, Mr. Cummins, because the nation comes first.
It actually kind of, and I mean, this, I don't know if people believe this when I tell them, but it was very impromptu, right? As we were talking to him, Tobler, and we were like, don't worry about it. Like, if you need us, you can call us anytime. We'll be there for you. And then Eddie goes, when the rain starts to fall. And I say, we'll be there for you. And then Eddie says, like we've been there before. And then I said, we'll be there for you, Mr. Cummins. And then Eddie just fucking said, because you're there for us too. Down, now, 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 now.
Yep.
And it was just such a natural, I guess, expression of emotion and honesty. Something I hadn't really experienced before.
It was a beautiful moment. The three of us embracing out the front of the SCG after a trying day of interrupted play. I think it was, sometimes it's just nice to embrace a complete stranger. Although, feels like someone I'd known my whole life, you know what I mean? So it was weird.
No, it was weird, but it was nice. I tell you what we did fuck up. We didn't get a photo with him.
No, we didn't. Can I be honest with you, Tom? At that point in the day, I was pretty lubricated.
You were.
And I was running on autopilot.
Yeah.
And my autopilot doesn't always include photography. Like, I generally need someone there like Tobler to be like, oi, photo.
Yeah, you do. You don't do much in the way of that, do you? That was a backhanded compliment. Well, not a compliment. That was me being snarky. After we left, there were a couple of boys going to the pub, and I was like, I want to go out and have a fucking, like, a splurgy dinner.
Did you go back in there?
No, I left.
Oh, you did.
Me and Harvey he had to leave something. He had to go and he was leaving his car in the car park. He had to get something out of there. Anyway, we went to like the Paddington or something, or Burt's. I don't know what the fucking name of this place was. It was on Oxford Street. And we went for dinner, me, Harves, and Killer. And whatever, like, we were pissed. We got a bottle of wine and we had some sides and maybe a margarita. I don't know. Nothing crazy, though. But we didn't get, like, main meals. And then I was like, I paid for it. And I was like, I'll just send you boys. We'll split it later. Anyway, I didn't look at my bill for a couple of days because I was just fucking hungover. I looked at it yesterday. They've charged us. So the bill was $400, I think, which in this place, it's obviously that's expensive, but that's what it was. It was a nicer restaurant. We were living a little decadently.
So all you had was fries and a bottle of wine and a margarita.
No, not fries. We ordered a fuckload of sides so that we were just all sharing instead of. And then Killer works in the wine biz, so he got a nice bottle of wine. And then I was obviously on my fucking margarita shit, so we were pounding some margs as well.
Sure.
That bill was reasonable given what we were doing. I went and looked at my bill. They've charged me $1,200.
How's that work?
I don't know. And I haven't.
Didn't you say it was $400?
That's exactly what I said, Edward. Because Killer took a photo of the receipt, but I've got fucking $1,200 out of my account, and I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, mate, I'll be on the blower.
I know. Well, I will be, absolutely, but it's such a... Talk about it, like, pain in the ass.
That is a fucking pain in the ass. I was actually at the Paddington the other day, Tom, and I was having dinner with Elza. I think it was actually the night before, and there was a couple of items on the bill that they tried to slip in doubles of things. I don't know if they tried to slip it in. I'm not accusing them of that, but there were doubles on there that I had to remove that sort of added up to a couple of $100. I'm like, well, not a couple of hundred, probably $100 would add it up to. Like,
it's a nice place, but the service was the whole, like, obviously now also being fucking gouged $1,200 for a $400 meal. It made me reflect upon the experience generally. Had that not happened, I just would have been like, whatever, I forget. But and you got to like follow up 3 times for like a drink.
Yep. I don't like
that. Nah, it wasn't the best experience.
Yeah. Well, it took me at the Paddington. It took me fucking like I'd asked like 5 times for the bill. And then they just didn't come out. And then when it came out, it was wrong. And then when I sent it back to get it redone, it just never came out again.
So this is what happened, right? The bill was paid. I paid the bill. And then they go, we're about to leave. And he goes, he comes in and goes, we didn't put the wine because the wine was from like, I don't know. He's like, I didn't put the wine on the bill. So you got to pay for that. And I'm like, righto. So then, so I've got 2 charges that equal like $1,200. And I'm like, I don't understand how. The first one was $800 when I paid $400 when the meal was $4, and then the second one's like whatever the hell gets you to $12, another $4. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Bush league, mate.
Now,
Fucking bush league.
I'm prepared to put it down to a mistake. I'm not shitting on the venue. The food was nice, wine was nice, the
Good
ambience.
Good ambience.
But I do feel like I've been fucked here, and now I got to go and. I got to fucking go and deal with all this bullshit. Anyway, not the point. Cricket was on. Eddie, we met Pat Cummins' dad. Shout out to Pat Cummins' dad. It was a draw, whatever. A couple of things out of the test match, generally. I hate the third umpire's calls on catches. I think they were all catches. Even when we were out there, I was saying, like... So the first one was Marnus, who was caught and then wasn't caught. I was like... If that was an Australian taking a catch, I would have said it was out. You know what I mean? I was only being like, fuck it, he dropped it because of my parochial nature, and it was fun.
Look, I think there needs to be an element of, did it look like a catch or not? Like, you can probably find an angle where it's sort of a little bit off kilter and it's a little bit inconclusive and make your decisions based on that. But I think at the end of the day, there is a general feeling you have with catches that it's either a catch or it wasn't.
I feel like there's ones with catches where it's like the thing you're looking for with the ball hitting the ground is like if it hits the ground before it reaches his hand. I think if his hand's under it and it hits the ground at the same time, like as in, because it's obviously you're not going to have your fingers clasped perfectly together, allowing no ball to seep through, and you know what I mean? Like that, to me, it just feels like if your fingers are under it, it's pretty much a fucking catch. Smudge's ones were both catches. Like, they were all catches. You can see the catches. Even if the ball hits the ground a little bit, your fingers are there. They're not flying through. And the ball doesn't bounce either. Like, if it got through the fingers and, like, the ground was aiding those catches, the ball would bounce back up a little bit.
Yeah. If you've got your hand under it and it goes into your hand, I think that's a catch. That's a fucking catch.
I
think that's like, if you look up what a catch is that not a catch?
Yeah, and they're saying, well, you're using the ground to...
But you're not,
They're not egregious. They're not egregious calls, but it's just like, they're wrong.
But listen, if you're not, the ground isn't aiding you. You've just got your hand on the ground in order to get under the ball.
Yeah, that's where you need your hand to be in order to catch the fucking thing.
That's where the hand needs to be because of the trajectory of the ball. Now, to imply that if the ground wasn't there, you wouldn't catch it, I think seems a little bit on the nose.
It's kind of silly to even think that, in the sense that you see the screamers these fuckers take where they're like lunging to a side. There's no ground behind them to help them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
There's no ground behind. It's like they take fucking screamers. So if the ground's there, it's just because they're getting down. That's like their hand can't go any fucking further. They have to hit the ground.
They're getting down and dirty. Exactly. They take their screamers, and the ball would be going, like, it would be moving into the air. But you catch the ball because that's how it works. You don't need ground behind you to fucking take the catch. I don't know.
No.
It's annoying. It was one of those test match almost where it couldn't get out of its own way.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Seriously.
obviously the rain was annoying, but that light meter bullshit was fucking...
That was day one, wasn't it? Where they went off at 2 o'clock for light. You're like, dude, this is...
2 p.m. for light. Like, that is unacceptable. And you could see on the bomb, Tom, the radar, the Bureau of Meteorology, that...
They actually don't want you to call it the bomb anymore. They want you to call it something else.
They backflipped. They blackflipped on that. They came out apologising. Yeah,
Ray Hadley savaged them. He spent a whole hour, I think, just shitting on them.
Yeah, they had to come out apologising, going, sorry, you can call it the bomb if you want. It's like, shut the fuck up. Don't tell us what you can't just take away an old...
Just relax.
Abbreviation.
You know? Like, no one... Yeah, what are you doing? Like, I don't think anyone gives a fuck. Bomb.
No one
just
cares.
relax. We're just calling it bomb because it's
But you could see on the bomb, Tom, that there was rain en route, and it was going to come about 3:30, which is exactly when it came, and they've just fucked off an hour of play for no reason. It just infuriated me. And we were there at the time, Tom, and to imply that it was too dark is fucking absurd. It wasn't too dark
ridiculous. It wasn't too dark even slightly. You know what else fucks me off, Eddie?
Yep.
And I think it's probably similar in the rugby league. With like the ref's call, like on the field, sending up to the bunker, but what do you think it is? Those fucking umpires' decisions, like Nathan Lyon got a couple where it was like they jagged back and hit the stumps.
Oh my
but because
God.
because of the margin for error or because of the umpire's call, they can't give it out. I'm like, I've reached a point in my life where, and I don't know if it's my age, my maturity, my wisdom, my sexual prowess. I'm not sure what it is specifically, but I'm ready now to do away with umpire's call. If it hits the stumps, if Hawkeye is saying it hits the stumps, that's out. I don't care if it's just grazing by the skin of its sack. They're saying it's margin for error. What's got a greater margin for error? The eye of the umpire or a fucking computer program?
Yeah, exactly. Because if the umpire says no, it's not a wicket, then there has to be at least half a ball hitting, which is a fuckload.
But they say the reason you have the review system is because umpires get it wrong. They've been getting it wrong enough for people to go, we need a review system. So why the fuck are we even leaning on them?
Seriously. Mate, some of those ones yesterday of Gary's were a fucking disgrace.
Dude.
Like an absolute fucking disgrace. A couple of those ones where they didn't offer a shot and it's just cannoning in. And he's like, nah. You're like, bro, what the fuck? I think he had 3 or 4 turned away. It was unbelievable, mate.
It was so fucking annoying.
And he's just on his knees, like, actually begging.
Yeah, no, he was gagging. And gagging.
Like, gagging. Like, almost giving eyes that suggested he'd do whatever the umpire wanted. That's how much he wanted just to get a wicket for his nation and just try and get some fucking momentum. Because it
was fucking the test up. Because it was like Australia is trying to get 13 wickets on the last day or whatever it was, and we can't these dumb moments, these extraterrestrial is the word I'm going to use because I can't think of the correct one.
Sure.
These extraterrestrial involvements where it's an umpire fucking dumb decision, the stupid way that we use the review system, it was just stopping the game from moving forward. Now, it was a draw, whatever. It doesn't mean Australia would have won if the wickets had been given, but it's just like
it wouldn't have hurt,
saying it. But I'm not just saying it as like an Australian who's disappointed about the result. I'm actually just like more broadly from a cricket spectacle sense, it kind of makes it lame.
It does make it lame. It gets under your skin a little bit. You're like, what the fuck is this? It starts to go away from logic, and that annoys me.
Yeah.
There's these decisions where you're just like, how did we get here? And it happens all the fucking time. Like, in the Ashes that we were trying to win when Ben Stokes ended up fucking going biblical and winning those runs. Like, there was a couple of moments there where Lyon got that guy LB, but then because we were out of fucking reviews because of the same process, then you can't look at it even though it's plumb. It's annoying. The system needs work. It needs an overhaul.
But see, I don't mind the fuck, like if you fuck reviews and then you can't review and you miss out. Like the way that test happened, it was at Edgbaston or whatever. I don't mind how that happens. I think that's kind of like you use your reviews, you use them well or you use them poorly and you live and die by that. But the actual process, which is like, it needs to be more than half the ball to avoid this like statistical mathematical error. It's like, well, nah, like if that's the case, then we should just fuck the match officials off completely because their margin for error is far greater than a computer, you would imagine.
But how long have we been doing this margin for error thing for? It would have been, 5 years?
Yeah.
Longer? You can't tell me that the technology hasn't got to a place where we don't need that margin for error bullshit. Like, have you heard of this chat GBT stuff where you can just go on and it can fucking write essays for you and poems and songs?
Oh, yeah, the AI. Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck you want. Like, we are living in crazy technological times, Tom, where basically...
Some would actually say scary.
Terrifying, mate. Some could say absolutely terrifying times. Basically, I don't see how universities have any place anymore, given what I saw this thing doing on fucking YouTube the other day. If we've got that sort of technology, you can't tell me in the last 5 years we haven't been able to remove that margin for error.
But even if there is a margin for error, I reckon, and I'm going to speak for every single professional cricketer across the planet,
Please do.
that they would be comfortable with going, if the fucking Hawkeye says it's hitting the wicket, it's out. Fuck the umpires thing. Even if the umpire says it's not out, if it's hitting the wicket, then you overturn the umpire's call. The umpire's call does not dictate anything.
It doesn't take... Yeah. It's maddening. It really is.
So if you then do the reverse of it and the umpire says LB,
Yep.
and the batsman goes, well, I'm not out, half hitting the wicket or whatever, like, does that, then it gets overturned? It's like, no, it's hitting the wicket, dude. Sorry.
It goes both ways, but it's still frustrating.
But doesn't it, like, because also by that logic, if it's missing by a bee's dick, then it could also technically still be hitting through their logic.
Which I think is built in. So I think they would then say that it's clipping.
I just think if it's hitting, it's hitting. If it's missing, it's missing. It's so much easier.
Because that is confusing, right? Because if there's a half ball margin for error, then there should be a half ball margin for error either side.
That's the thing, right? So if
do you know what I mean?
if it's missing, could you not use the same?
Could you not? Yeah. So could you not push the margin for error back to the left instead of back to the right?
Yeah.
Am I sounding silly saying that?
No, you aren't. It's that we're both trying to conceptualize what we have just realized is a gaping fucking logic flaw, I feel, in this thing. Now it could be one of those things where when Tom and I start talking math, it gets a bit hairy McClary, and from
Donaldson's Dairy, and maybe in the comments people will point out our shortcomings. However, I think that if you're going to have a built-in margin for error, it needs to go both sides.
Sam margin for error, friend of the show, Rubens.
Sure. Anyway, be that as it may, Tom, it was a bit of an opportunity for Ashton Agar of 98 out, batting 11 in, 2015 Ashes, 2015, something like that. Fame. He was given an opportunity to try and cement a place on the plane to India.
I don't think he did that.
I don't think he did that. Now, again, Tom and I are not X's and O guys, so I have to lean on the commentary here, but I don't think that they were particularly wrapped with what Ashton was putting up.
Mate, he was bowling some, and obviously I only get through my leg spin down at the Thick Ropes County on synthetic pitches, but he was bowling some shit.
Yeah.
He was getting pumped.
I think he was going.
He also bowled some all right balls, but like,
I think didn't he go for 18 off his first 2 overs, something like that?
Yeah. It's like you see him bowling and you see him in line bowling. You go, oh, like this is, it's never been more obvious to me for someone who I watch cricket. I don't go and break down the numbers. Obviously, Nathan Lyon's the fucking greatest off spinner we've ever produced, greatest off spinner of all time. But it's very clear to see when you're watching them both bowl.
He looked like he had a bit of part-timer about him.
And our part-timers, Marnus was getting the fucking thing to dance.
Did you see Smudge's fucking John
That was
Howard
disgusting.
half-track?
Yeah, that was disgusting. I felt bad for him, but I also loved it. Now,
Travis
Smudge-
Head goes all right.
Dude, Trav fucking can.
Trav goes
I think-
all right, mate. He got dropped a couple of times.
Now, I don't know whether that is because he's good at bowling. Obviously, he's not bad. But, like, sometimes when you put someone on who's, like, not that good, but just, like, puts the ball on the... Like, it's sort of just consistency. Like, sometimes you get out to shit bowlers.
Didn't
I guess
Ricky
is how I'm gonna
Ponting
say
get
it.
Sashin out? Or did I make that up?
That's a toddler. That's a toddler. I don't know. But certainly, I love seeing some part-timers getting to their work. Michael Clark, 3 wickets in and over, sort of gear.
Mate, I watched all yesterday. I watched all afternoon. And obviously, I was aware that we had entered miracle territory. Obviously, I knew that. We needed 8 wickets, I think, with like 21 overs to go at one point. And maybe some teams had shut up shop then. Not Patrick. We're going to fucking bowl until there's 5 overs left and we're going to have a proper crack here. But there was always part of me that would refer back to Michael Clark against India. 3 wickets in 4 balls. Like,
Yeah.
miracles happen. They do.
They do happen.
They do happen. Leicester City, like, miracles fucking happen. And I'll be damned, Tom, if I'm turning off the telly just because everyone thinks it's going to be a draw. Because I know that there is a fucking minute chance of a miracle.
Listen, dude, we needed 8 balls. Look, there was a part of me that
8
was
balls.
like, Pat should have gone down just to the last over and gone, all right, now it's done. 7 balls to go, game over. There was a part of me that would have been happy with that. If you listen to Jim Maxwell on ABC, that motherfucker had dinner plans. He wanted to get the fuck out of there. He was like, oh, this game's just meandering along now. We know the result. Oh, God, another over. I love Jim Maxwell. I love Grandstand. But I wanted to call in and go, hey, Jim, shut the fuck up, mate. This is the last day of Test cricket for the summer. And, I think I just want to soak it up. Even if it's for nothing. Let Marnus have a bowl. The crowd was up and about when Marnus was bowling, and he was getting them to rip. Just let's watch a bit of fucking cricket, all right?
And Marnus was pissed off as well when he the game ended because he bowled a no ball. And so he should have bowled one more, but Pat was like, nah, let's just pack it up. But he was stinging. He's like, give me the ball, baby.
Just let me bowl.
Let me bowl. I'd tend to agree with you, Tom. I think that sends the right message going, listen, we're going to bowl until mathematically it's impossible, which would imply 7 balls left.
7 balls to go. I would have liked that, but whatever, I don't care. I tell you what, some people don't get, and there was some dribbler on the fucking the P's and D's who's obviously, no disrespect to him, but a little thick, and he was having a fucking crack at Paddy Cummins like, this fucking dog, he wouldn't let Khawaja, come out and
the
get his
195.
200.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let Khawaja come out and get his 200, but he'll fucking call it with a few overs to go. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not the same thing, bro. He's not. The reason he declared and with Khawaja on 195 is because he had to get things going to try and win the game. So if he'd waited any longer, who the fuck knows what happens? You have to have a crack. He called it at the end because it was like, well, this ain't happening.
Mate, he wanted to send a strong message that we thought, Australia thought, the team thought they could win. Now, unfortunately for Usman, it comes at the fucking loss of him potentially scoring a 200. He's never scored a double. 195 is his biggest ever score. So,
but he's now got the greatest average at the SCG of any cricketer ever.
But that's unfortunate. But by declaring after fucking a day and a half of rain, you are literally saying, we think we can win this, cunts. So fucking saddle up. And when we
the
bowled
only
him
thing
out,
I think they would have... Sorry, keep going.
and then when we bowled him out before they could reach the follow-on or avoid the follow-on, I was like, we're a fucking big sniff here.
You know what?
Boys are on.
I think it would have been better, and a few of the boys were talking about this in the chat group, was if instead of enforcing the follow-on, he just declared for naught. So then you're giving South Africa a genuine shot at winning the test as well, which means they're going to be going after it if they're not a bunch of pussies. Do you know what I mean? That would have made for some fun.
Mate, I completely agree with that. Wouldn't that have been fun? Because then South
would have been fucking sick.
Africa's a sniffer winning, and
It means that they've got to come out and actually, because that's also the thing.
They had to get- they still
with
had to
Ashton.
get-
It's like they were just blocking the fucking ball. Like they weren't really trying to give. They weren't trying to go for anything. So chances were few and far between. But like, if they've got to chase. It was like 220 maybe. I don't know. Do your own research on the numbers. But like that would have been,
I think, yeah.
that would have been gripping Test cricket.
I think that the only reason I can think of, Tom, is that a loss would have affected our position in the Test Championship rankings. Like each game now means something technically, and obviously it causes all Australians great distress that New Zealand won the inaugural competition. So we need to fucking right horrible wrongs. And if a loss is,
you're giving yourself a chance to win as opposed to like a draw, which means you still are a chance of. I get it. But you are very much opening up the possibility of a loss. Yes, you are. But they suck at batting, so you're kind of like.
But like at the end of I'm just trying to fucking pontificate as to reasons why they may not have done that, because that would have been so exciting.
It would have been so exciting. And while we're talking about them like sucking at batting, I'm just getting my notes up on my other phone. Dean Elgar of South African captain fame, of 13 tons to his name fame, I believe now the second worst touring captain on average of all time.
What did he average?
So this was from the Telegraph, I think. Elgar's record thus far is right up there or down there with the worst of them. Of recognised batting captains over the past century to lead their sides in 2 or more tests down under, only Sri Lanka's Dinesh Chandimal, who averaged 6 across the 4 digs in early 2019, has fared more poorly than Elgar, who at the time of writing this was before he batted yesterday, was averaging, I think, 9.
Just bush league. Again.
And getting out the same way every time.
Every time.
They were just getting it. He's just fucking wigging out under his elbow, under his armpit.
Just wigging out. Again, I can't believe that upon arriving on these gorgeous, pristine shores of ours, Tom, that South Africa were ranked 2 in the world, because, dear God, their batting was absolutely fucking appalling.
Well, they're fucking... They're no good, and obviously it shows that the rankings can be a little bit how you going sometimes.
A little bit misleading, mate.
Yeah,
a little bit misleading. We were looking it up the other day at the cricket, Tom. I don't know if it was you and I looking it up. It was me and someone else. But 4-test series of India starts in like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Which I'm absolutely dripping wet for.
I am so horny. This year of Test cricket, we got 10 tests coming up. Assuming we get to the Test Championship, we've got 4 in India, Test Championship, 5 Ashes. Like we've got a really, really good fucking few months, 6 months of Test cricket coming up. Which reminds me just to shout out again to our great dear friends at KO, who we haven't heard anything back from yet. I guess the ball's still in their court about whether they're going to send us over for at least the first 2 to 3 tests.
Yeah, listen.
Haven't heard.
Look, we haven't heard anything official from KO. I think silence is golden in this situation. I think that's a really good thing. They haven't said no. But I just wanted to fucking wet your whistle, if I may, Thomas. The first test in India starts on the 9th of February, and it starts at 3 p.m.
Oh, that's good.
So I think it goes to, if my math's correct, about 10:30 at night.
Holy shit, dude. You want to talk about perfect time. And all live and ad-free during play, thanks to our good friends at KO and
If
Fox
that
Cricket.
doesn't fucking turn you on, punters and dribblers, then I'm not here. 3
India,
till 10:30 is fucking glorious.
India might be, like, the Ashes is obviously great, but in terms of place to play outside of our own nation, India, my favourite. Conditions, crowd, heat, just fuck it. Like you're seeing a different type of skill set required from your batsman and your bowl. Like it's so foreign to our own conditions. It just gets me the toeiest.
Oh, it gets me fucking toey. We won the first test there as well last time. Smudge just goes off in India. I think he averaged 55 for the summer, Tom. So kids found his hands. Know that.
That's also what I think. Pez of Grade Cricketer fame was saying, like that. The greats stand up in foreign conditions, right? He's not breaking any news there, but seeing someone like Steve Smith, who, fuck man, we keep hearing about these retirement chats and shit, but like seeing him over there and having to go to another level where like he is just a master of playing spin and seeing that other element to his game that you don't see as often or is in such extreme circumstances as the goat tracks in India. That is pure horniness for me. Like I cannot fucking wait.
There's a ground we're playing at this time as well, Tom. Forgive me for not knowing particularly which one it is. Someone was showing me the other day. It's like up in the mountains. It looks like a bit of a green top. Great for the seamers, Tom, which made my ears perk up because obviously we've got a quartet that won't quit. It buoys me that maybe there's a dub there. We can grind out one somewhere else.
A fucking green top in India is not something that you used to see.
You don't see a whole lot of them, but up in the mountains,
usually their pitches are doctored beyond belief
at elevation. While as we get a little bit closer, we'll be able to illuminate the punter and the dribbler.
Yeah, we'll get stuck.
Is it
while we're on Smudge?
Himachal Pradesh Cricket Stadium?
Is it got is it like a coloured stadium?
Yeah, it's got like a red stand with yellow and green up in the
that's it.
Indian Alps, it looks like.
That's it.
You're coming in real hot there, Tobler, as well. That's as loud as a microphone's ever been. I'll be invoicing you for whatever damage you've just done to my ears.
Thank you for that, Tobler.
Thank you, Tobler. While we're on Smudge, ton number 30. I think now just behind Mark Waugh and Ricky.
No. So he's 2 behind Steve, and he's
Steve Waugh, not Mark Waugh. Sorry,
and he's
equal with Hayden,
and he's even with Haydos, and he's just gone one past the Don. So he's in, as we would call it, rarefied air now, Tom. I think that he's 100% got his sights on second place. I can't see him getting past Ricky on 41.
No, I can't see him getting past Ricky.
However, stranger things have happened. I think maybe that year out of the game may cost him in the fullness of time. That's fine. Not a big deal. But if he can get to second on the fucking all-time list, which I think he will, that's pretty incredible.
It just depends on
For a guy who started as a fat leggy.
Just depends on how much longer he plays for. Because SCG rumour mill, and the mill was in overdrive when we were there. Like you hear some fucking now it's dribblers, right? And our friends, we're all dribblers, right? So not just punters and dribblers, but everyone is basically who's a sports fan is a fucking dribbler. And there was some dribbly rumours getting around. We won't, without going into too much detail that may potentially illuminate who said what or where something's come from, but. One of them was that Smudge will retire post-Ashes, which I was like, get fucked. And apparently from a credible source, which I'm not prepared to listen. I don't want to believe that. But the way he's sort of talking is a little non-committal. I'm like, what the fuck is that about? Like, you're only 33, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, look, we heard some whispers that we can't really repeat because that's all they were. They were whispers as to why there may be a retirement on the cards.
Yeah, that's what you can't talk about.
I can't talk about that. Other than to say that I don't want him to retire. Is basically the long and the short of it. There was a couple other rumours going around up there in the mill that were very fucking heavy.
Well, no, those ones we definitely won't touch on. But the other one was that David Warner will retire pre-Ashes.
The rumour that was going around up there in the members bar, Tom, was that he will play until the Test Championship at Lords this year, which I believe is sort of the lead into the Ashes, maybe like early June.
Yes,
That's
and
what
then
we
he'll
heard.
retire pre-Ashes.
That's the rumour we heard, Tom. That's the rumour we heard. Unfortunately, someone like Matty Renshaw didn't get to cut his teeth this test, which would have been frustrating. So the
Mate,
kid
what a
gets
joke of a test that cunt had. He sat on the sideline the whole time, freezing in the rain, having to like wave people down for like food and shit. They had to like throw him sandwiches. They didn't want to get near him.
and they never got to bat.
And then face like 6 balls.
Fuck, it doesn't really count.
No, it doesn't. Tough for Matty.
So tough for Matty, mate. Fucking hell. You're going, Jesus Christ. I've waited for this moment to happen again for, 5 years probably?
6 years, yeah. I think
6 years even. He'll be on the plane to India, though. We know that. It'll just be interesting to see where we go. I like to see Usman in a nice touch going in, Tom. I like that. That makes me horny. Traditionally, can he play spin, Uzi?
No, I think that he's improved on it. I don't know if he always could, but I do remember seeing somewhere where they were saying, like, I think maybe it was like one of the South African players even saying, like, he's improved greatly. Like, he's almost a different player from when I last saw him in regards to spin. It might have been their spinner who said that. I don't know. Do your own research. But if you look at our batting form, obviously it's in Australia, but save for Uzi, who got fucking left stranded, our top 4 all hit doubles this summer. Yeah. Let's just round him up and say he hit a double.
But against, before everyone goes, it's just South Africa, against a fucking vaunted pace attack. Is that the word?
Everyone said they were the best. Yeah, like a much vaunted, potentially. Now, I don't know what vaunted, if that's the positive or a negative. I think you are correct. But they were saying they were the best bowling attack in the world.
People were
which
touching
is
themselves.
Disrespectful.
People were touching themselves over this attack. Let's be honest. That's what people were doing. People were touching themselves in the street over this attack, and our boys went out there and all got fucking doubles. So you can all get
bludgeoned them. You
got bludgeoned, baby. You got bludgeoned.
Well, in fairness, I think that Marnus and Smudge got their doubles against the Windies potentially, but Smudge got 100 against them. Marnus got some good scores. Do we think it's fair to say now? Obviously, Dave Warner is officially a dear friend of ours in the show, but him getting man of the series a bit punchy.
Yeah, I didn't really see that coming.
I thought Travis Head probably could have got it.
I
Travis Head hasn't had a bad innings all summer.
Yeah, no, I thought that was unfair. I didn't. Yeah, I was surprised by that. I really was.
It was the moment of the series. 200 in your 100th test is great, but like, you got fucking bowled out first ball of the first test, I think. And then
what do you get? What do you get in the first test? 1 and 3. Jesus Christ.
Flies.
B.
I've got a fly. I've got a fly doing my head in this room.
Just fuck off, would you?
I saw that one. He got close then.
Oh, God. Beast.
Hit it. What
do you want, cunt?
Stop being a pussy, mate. It's just a beat. Oh, he's on the camera. You get him? You got to give us some feedback here. What's happening?
He's fucking... Mate, he's right around the head. He's right around the head. He's playing aggressive footy. He's in front of the camera. Here he is. Where's he gone?
Smack him.
Oh, he's fucked off. Oh, he's back.
Mate, you got to be able to kill a bee.
I don't like killing bees. I don't like killing bees.
No,
mate.
I get it.
They're great.
They're
They're great pollinators, Tom.
No, they are. And don't come after me, fucking bee enthusiast. But I am just saying, like, if you got a bee wanting to punch on, at some point you got to pull the pin and just go, listen, dude.
Listen, I was getting.
I'm the apex predator here.
He was about to get a fucking whip with the hat.
Yeah.
Metal on the back too would have fucking shattered his spine. But listen, I love bees, dude. Bees may not love me. It was getting a bit testy there, punters and dribblers, getting really testy. I was just trying to fucking keep my cool, you know.
No, yeah, you did that. You did that real well. That was as cool as it gets.
Where were we?
So I don't know where we were. I think we were just talking about the fact that Warner got man of the series. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, I don't know. I don't know about that. That seemed a bit much for me. I mean, his average wasn't the best. He obviously had the moment of the series, like you say. Paddy Cummins took most wickets. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Pat could have got it. I think Trav could have got it because Trav was just so consistent. I love Trav, and he took wickets, Trav. Like, he was doing it all.
And he got
I
dropped,
actually
so
think
it should have
Trav-
been more.
Yeah, I think Trav's unlucky. Did he also get run out by Marnus? Was that against the Windies, though? Might have been. Whatever. The one thing I wanted to finish on with cricket, though, Eddie.
Yeah, mate.
As we have comprehensively, dissected it. All the big boys of the Test team are playing Big Bash, which has got me horny. The ad they had and that's all on KO, baby. When they had the ad they had during the Test, and it was like cutting between the Test, like all the Test players, like playing their shots for like Smudge for the Sixers, Khawaja for the Thunder, Carey for the fucking Strikers, Marnus for the Heat. I was like, oh, this is dope, dude. This is great. Like, I've been glancing at the Big Bash here and there. Like, the Big Bash is always good, sort of like stocking filler, pajama cricket, on at night, what else is on sort of shit. But like, knowing the fucking Throbbers are all going back there, Nathan Lyon's going back, like, that's gonna be fucking mad.
It's going to be sick, mate. It's good glancing material. I've always said it. Really good for a glance. The game last night.
Armstrong.
Glance Armstrong. The Sixers and the Thunder was almost a sellout. Good crowd. Really healthy crowd. Crowds are coming back to the Big Bash League, Tom, is what I'm being led to believe. And when the big throbbers go back, it's only going to go better as we get into the fucking business end of the season. Mate, it's good glancing material. And I'll be inclined to glance more and more and more when the big dicks are running around. Because I've always been attracted to big willies, Tom. So
yeah, you have. No, it's always been your thing. And then obviously we are mere moments away. Matty, what day is it today? Monday. So Aus Open not tonight. Not this week.
No, I believe it starts next Monday, Thomas.
The qualifiers are on at the moment, and then it starts on Monday.
Did you see the video of that Japanese bloke fucking lighting up the umpire and match referee?
No, I didn't see that.
It was good shit. I actually did share it to the story. It's probably on, Wild World of Sports or the
Tom, I was on cricket. I don't know how I feel about this. I think I'm not terribly surprised, but in some ways I'm devastated. The Australian Open has declined to offer Bernard Tomic a wild card. And I feel like the Australian Open could have used a bit of Bernie.
Mate, they got to know that there's they got to know Bernard for all of his faults, and believe me, we know better than he's got him. He's got him. Yeah. But he's a bums on seats sort of guy.
He always has been. He puts bums on seats. It's as simple as that.
Bums on seats, Bernie.
Bums on seats, Bernie. Also, what you're doing is you're robbing the nation, particularly Tom and I, of great content. Because he would have been working his fucking Instagram into the ground had he got a wild card.
Why wouldn't you just go Kyrgios Tomic round one?
Well, because I believe the draw was drawn out of a hat, Tom.
Now, is it actually just a hat? Is someone just throwing their hat out and going?
Well, so the seeds sit in the same sort of position, like what your seeded sits normally, and then everyone else is just drawn randomly out of a hat.
Surely, though, like, if you're the Aus Open, you could just fuck with it a little bit, just to get Bernie v. the King.
Mate, Bernie v. the King Kyrgios, particularly after Bernard talked all that shit, being like...
Well, Bernard wants to box him.
Well, Bernard thinks he would beat him. Remember, he was talking all that shit in the lead up to Wimbledon, and then Kyrgios went on to make the final. We haven't heard both.
Yeah, and Bernie fucking lost his qualifying Sydney whatever, I think last year, to get into the Aus Open.
Mm. You know that there's a Netflix documentary coming out about Kyrgios?
Well, it's not about him. It's about the tennis, like Drive to Survive thing with tennis. It's not just Kyrgios.
Right. But he's featuring heavily.
Yeah, no, because I think it's like the heavy features is sort of like the next gen. Like, we've had this golden generation of tennis, and now who the fuck's going to take the mantle? And so they're speaking to him and all that sort of jazz.
Interesting. If it's done well, I'll be right in there. Yeah.
One, actually, that just reminds me, it's sort of back to cricket, but it's also King. you and I obviously have been long time, basically spruikers of like, it doesn't matter if you're going bald. Don't worry.
No,
Shave your head. It's all good. Now, that may seem patronising coming from guys with hair as good as you and I. It's not meant to, but it is what it is. I believe... Oh, what's that, little Evie? Elsa's finished. Yeah? Do you want to come say hello? Open the door. Yeah, quickly. Come through here. You're going to debut because we're just about to finish anyway. Say hello.
Hello.
Can you say hello?
Hello.
Who are they? Do you know who they are, Evie? No?
No.
Can you see yourself on the screen? Say hello to yourself? Say hello, Evie. No? Okay, she's shy. I think, punters and dribblers, there's a real chance that old Blue Eyes, skipper of the nation, he's down to his last few haircuts.
Oh, are you calling it early?
I'm just saying.
Are you calling this
Calling it
early, Tom?
I'm calling it early. I'm calling it early, but I'm calling it. And the reason it made me think about it was because the king is, and the king's like putting, the king's like Rudy Giulianiing all over his face with like boot polish and shit. I'm calling it early. Pat's not necessarily this year, not necessarily next year, but I'm calling it.
You have a unique ability, Tom, to call a failing head. You've done it before.
Let's not even call it failing, because that is the wrong language. A head of hair that is departing.
Yes. Failing is probably a bit negative. You're right. Departing, saying farewell, saying adieu.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll keep my eye on it, Tom. I don't know. I haven't picked up on it, put it that way. I haven't picked up on it at all. So if you fucking called this year's out, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I don't think there's anything else. Is that it? Is that us?
Yeah.
Big Day Rosé on sale this Thursday. Big
Correct.
Day Rosé on sale this Thursday. It'll be the last rosé of the year. Well, not the end of this year, but of the summer. Before
So you wouldn't want to miss out because
No, you wouldn't want to miss out.
the cicadas are still chirping. Don't think that's the right word.
Well, mate, you got a lot. Summer's still got a long way to go.
Fucking
We're not even
oath it
halfway
does.
through summer.
100%.
But you want to be able to get it before it's all gone.
Yes, you do.
Isn't that right, Evie? All right, I'll come see you in a sec. So keep your eyes peeled, punters, dribblers. Big Day Rosé this Thursday, 6 p.m. Last rosé of the summer.
Don't miss it. That's us. Shout out to Big Day Rosé. Best rosé all time.
Big Day Rosé, yep.
Also, punters and dribblers, keep your eyes peeled because another drop of rosé hats aren't that far away.
Yep. That's right. We got a restock coming soon. Yep. Beautiful. Love it. Catch ya.
Bye-bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?